So, everybody. Floating Head from the Void is here because I decided to wear a black sweatshirt and my background's too dark. Floating Head from the Void is back with another beautiful new franchise challenge, this time using Snipe and Score's 2007 flashback roster. Again, Snipe and Score Productions on YouTube. I also have my own run through on my channel with his permission, where I give my opinion and my initial reactions to his rosters. And again, it's very promising. So if you're on Xbox Series S or X, Snipe and Score is the guy for you. This is, again, his 2007 roster. We are using the pre-deadline version because the madman made a pre- and post-deadline version. We are using the pre-deadline version of the roster. And let me tell you, I'm going to use this roster a lot throughout the year. This should likely not be the only time I use this roster because there are a lot of teams that are interesting to use. The Anaheim Ducks, the Atlanta Thrashers, reborn, the likes of Hossa and Kovalchuk. The Bruins, of course, fresh off of getting Chara and Savard. The Sabres went to the conference final in this year. Last time that they were really good. Calgary with the Ginla and Kiprusoff. My God, how fun would it be to win a cup with Kipper? Colorado, you could try to win before Joe Sakic retires. Columbus, try to win with Rick Nash before, of course, they traded him to New York. You get the point. There are so many interesting options. Of course, you do have Vegas and Seattle replaced by some of these teams as well, so you have to keep that in mind. But there are so many interesting teams that could be used. Indeed, Montreal, highlighted by Koivu, Kovalev, Surrey. Theodore would have been in goal at the time, I do believe. The Devils obviously were a wagon. The Rangers with Yager and Lundqvist. Ottawa, of course, who went to the Cup final that year with Spezza, Heatley, and Alfie. Craziness. Forsberg on the Flyers. There are so many interesting teams, as you can see. By the time I put this up on YouTube, people already know what team I'm using. I'm keeping the Twitch chat in suspense. The team we will be using in this series, the Atlanta Thrashers. The sweet, beautiful Atlanta Thrashers. We are bringing them back from the dead, and we will be controlling the 2007 Atlanta Thrashers. So again, there will be some other teams that we will use here and there, but for now, we are going to start off with Atlanta. In terms of the divisions, I gotta be honest, there's really not that much to change. It's just the question of, do you want both Europe and North America in the Pacific Division? And I gotta be honest, I mean, yeah, like the only thing we could really do is like switch Detroit back over to the West. Show off the thumbnail. I will show off the thumbnail for this. Here, let me do that first. Again, YouTube-wise, people would have already seen it. Again, this thumbnail brought to you by my lovely friend Tymo. That is the Baker and Tymo Show, Tymo on Twitch. Look at that thing of beauty. The incredible job done by my buddy Tymo. So, let's go ahead and set this up properly. To the Eastern Conference, I guess we will move these particular teams over. So, geographically, let's move Colorado to the Pacific. I'm also going to move Phoenix to the Pacific. We are going to move Detroit for Europe, and we will also move Columbus over for the North America Future Stars. Geographically, that makes the most sense. And that way, Detroit's back in the West, Columbus is in the West. Again, Colorado we have to move over, but it makes the most sense. I think that looks good. Bottom line is, at least the proper people are in the West, the proper people are in the East for the most part, and then we split up the other ones there. But I don't mind Europe technically being in the Atlantic, hence the, the river. So we do find ourselves in the Central, though. Obviously, the Thrashers were an Eastern Conference team, so maybe it makes more sense to move them over then again. Maybe we move let's go Let's go Europe there, North America for Atlanta. That way we're in the Atlantic Division. The Metro's the Metro. I think that's it. I think that's the winning formula right there. Finalized. We're doing it. Owner mode will be off. Player morale will be on because I hate myself. And the salary cap, I do believe, will be staying on. Washington, Carolina. They were fine. We're good to go there. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. I wish you could rename the divisions, right? Well, I wish you had the choice like you do in NBA to be like, hey, I want 17 different divisions. That would be pretty cool. Give me a second. All right, cool. So, really quickly, let's see what we got here for our setup. The Penguins franchise is not done. We are still going with that series as well. We're going to turn off morale meetings. Waivers and all of that are fine. The trade notifications, head coach firing don't really matter. Put the trade difficulty on hard because I hate myself. We'll see if we stay there. Draft class quality, I'm going to dip down to low for the first little bit. Penalty time scaling is fine. Computer trades are fine. We'll just let the AI go nuts pretty much out of the gates. This isn't going to be overly rule heavy like it is for Pittsburgh, but I'm also not going to I'm not going to be too crazy with it, you know? Not going to be too crazy with it. So, we have that all set up. Although the one thing I might have to do is our little slider set here. No, to be honest, I'm good with that. Well, the injuries. Drop the injuries down to about a 20. Would I potentially play an NHL franchise mode at the series over? We'll see. I mean, again, there's a lot of stuff to do for this roster file. There's a lot of stuff to do for the 97 roster file as well. So, coaching staff and all that will stay the same for Season 1. Again, a friendly reminder. Snipe did add in the likes of Patrick Kane, Voracek, Subban, Jamie Benn at the top of this draft. So that's a nice little touch. That's a nice little touch right there. In terms of our roster. Oh, and goalies too. Here, let's go see who we have on the goalie side for this particular year. Oh, Scott Darling is the highest rated right now. Is he the only one? Who else is in here? There's an E price. Was Scott Darling the only one? And then like Sebastian Coase is there, but he brutalized their potentials. So guys like that won't really be a factor. So we look at this roster. In goal, it is Kari Lehtinen, also known as Kari Lehtinen, and Johan Hedberg, with just rando scrubs to fill out the depth. So basically, it's Lehtinen and Hedberg. The defense is a disaster. It is Hovland, DeVries, Shane Knighty, Andy Sutton of, God, what the hell even is your first name? Vitaly Vishnevsky. And Braden Coburn with Garnet Exelby also there. Oof. Oof, that defense. And then forward-wise, obviously, is where it gets to be a bit fun with Hossa, Kovalchuk, Kozlov, Ruchin Melby, Halik, Kapanen, Sim Slater, Metropolit, Larson, Vijay. And nobody else to really worry about there. Aside from Christian Reichel. So, this team, of course, head coach preferred lines is now the name of the game. Oh, I like Andy Sutton. I like Vishnevsky, but one of these two is likely... Well, maybe we don't have to get Garnet Exelby in there. Maybe we don't have to get Exelby in there. It's pretty much all left defensemen, too. DeVries doesn't have a very good shot. Hovland has an okay shot. I mean, having Coburn in the hot seat makes sense. Let's go... Oh, God, what are we going to go with? I guess we're going to go with Hovland and Shane Knighty, DeVries and Coburn, Sutton, and Vishnevsky. That is problematic. And then for the rest of the team, obviously the big names are Kovalchuk and Hossa. From there, it's a little bit rough. Everyone's at least in a proper position, which is nice. Metropolitan could play center. There's no one really to swap him out with. Honestly, I think that's it. Kovalchuk, Ruchin, Hossa, Kozlov, Holik, Mellenby, Sim, Kapanen, Metropolitan, Larson, Slater, Vijay. It's not great. It's not great, which is kind of the point. This team is a bit rough. This team's a bit rough, if we're being honest. We immediately get a trade offer for Jimmy Howard. It's Steve Ruchin, John Sim for 2 seconds and Jimmy Howard. I did not think we'd get a trade offer that fast. I gotta be honest though, I can't go for Jimmy Howard. I can't do it. He always gets dealt, huh? Kapanen in the Metropolitan for a second and a fourth. Yeah, honestly, I at the moment am cool with turning off just the trade options. Like I never really like having the AI send me deals. It's just kind of a pain. In terms of free agents, I don't know if there was anybody good, nor did I really want to go after anybody. And the answer is just the AI signing depth for real players outside of Columbus getting Brian Elliott. Yeah, for the most part, it's just the AI signing depth because they need it. So, how old is Kovalchuk at this point? He is 23, which is ridiculous. Which is ridiculous at the time. And we will sim to day one and see what our situation is. I do kind of want to take a look around the league to see what the AI lines are because they might be different. So let's actually do that and take a look around. So Anaheim is Penner, Getzlaf, Solani, Kunitz, McDonald, Perry, Thornton, Marchant, Shannon, Moen, Travis Moen, Sammy Paulson, and Rob Niedermeyer. The defense is Scott Niedermeyer, Chris Pronger, Beauchemin and DePenta, O'Donnell, and Huskins. That's cool as shit. In goal, it is J.S. Jaguar and Ilya Brizgalov. Scratches of Shane O'Brien and Yannick Veilleux. Boston is Marco Sturr, Mark Savard, Glenn Murray, Boys, Bergeron, Kessel, Axelson, Primo, Donovan, Tankrit, a dude named Suomi who they signed, and Jeff Hogan. The defense is Chara, Yercina, Brad Stewart, and Jason York, Paul Mara, and Andrew Alberts. Ugh. Oh, man. In goal, Honda Toivonen and Tim Thomas. Mark Mowers and Samuel Osselin, who's actually on the Bruins right now, or Providence at least is there. Buffalo, Vanek, Briere, Connolly, Hesh, Derek Roy. It's Derek Roy, I was going to say, wow. And Finneganoff. Jury, Yuri Novotny, and Jason Pominville. Peters, Gostad, Kodalik. Damn. Defense is Campbell, Newman, Spacek, Ludman, Kalinin, Nathan Pache. Goalie, Ryan Miller, Martin Baron. Adam Mayer is the notable healthy scratch. Let's see. Carolina is Whitney Stahl Stillman, Ladd Brindamore Williams, Cole Belanger Walker, Adams LaRose. Good old Chad LaRose. Defense is Wallin Tanabe, Wesley Commodore, Big Herv. Thank you for the follow. Tim Gleason with Anton Babchuk. I did not realize Anton Babchuk was 6'5". Goalies Cam Ward, John Graham. Trevor Letowski as a healthy scratch. Columbus is Nash, Fedorov, Sheradev, Modine, Brule, and Anson Carter. Chimera, Fritsch, Malhotra as a Vaporapath with that lovely prime. Thank you. And Jody Shelley, thanks you too, from wherever he may be. Poor David Faborny stuck on the fourth line though. You hate to see it. The defense, Hainsey Foot, Klesla Eriksson, Johnson Tollefson. And in goal, Narena and Pascal Leclerc. No scratches for CBJ. Calgary is Tanguay, Lombardi, Aginla. Again, how fun that team would be. Huselius, Lankow, Kobasu, Ritchie, Yell, Nilsson, Friesen, Lundmark, Amani. God, Calgary would be so fun to use. So fun. Phaneuf and Warner, Hammerlick, Regier, Ferentz, and a young Mark Giordano. Goalies are Kipper and McLennan. Andre Zuzin as a scratch. Chicago is Verbata, Hanzus, Havlat, Sharp, Smolinski, Rutu, Bochenski, Hamilton, Bork, Holmqvist, Arkhipov, LaPointe. That is pre-Taves, pre-Kane, and very bad. Defense is Keith Aucoin, Cullimore, Seabrook, Vandermeer, Wisniewski. The goalies, Lalim and Hobby Bulin. The Bulin Wall. Oh, Colorado is Brunette, Sakic, Hayduk, Arneson, Stashny, Svatos, Laxinen, Richardson, Wolski, McLean, LaPerriere, and Rycroft. Lyles Klee, Leopold Clark, Vannon, and Skrastinch on defense. And in goal, Peter Budaj and Jose Tero. Not on Montreal at this point. Kyle Comiskey, Kurt Sauer as scratches. Dallas is Jokinen, Modano, Morrow, Erickson, Ribeiro, Lindros, Halpern, Barnes, Lettinen, Hagman, Miettinen, Tarnqvist. Defense, Sador, Zubov, Modry, Boucher, Daly, Robida. Goalies, Turco and Mike Smith. Good old Marty Turco. With the random fill-in players, of course. Detroit is Zetterberg, Datsuk, Holmstrom, Franzen, Lang, Hudler, Maltby, Draper, Cleary, Williams, Filppula, Samuelson. The defense is Lidstrom, Chelio, Schneider, Cronwall, Markov, Lebda. And in goal, Dominic Hasek with Chris Osgood. So Hasek's 42 at this point. Chelios is 45. God damn. Edmonton is Ryan Smith, Horkoff, Hemsky, Torres, Stoll, Sakura, Lupul, Reisner, Pisani, Morrow, Peterson, Thorson. Defense is Bergeron, Smith, Tarnqvist, Steos, Hayda, and Green. In goal, Dwayne Rollison and UC Markkinen. With Laddie Schmid as a healthy scratch. What's Chelios' skating? I don't know, but the old fuck needs to move faster. 83s from the looks of it. The European squad, which again filled up with some of the best players out of Europe and prospects, but Oleg Kavasha, Robert Reichel, Alexei Morozov, Kovalenko, a young Nick Backstrom, and Alexei Sharapanov. Vladimir Sobotka, Nikolai Kulemin are on this team, Sean Bergenheim. The defense, Yuri Slager and Karpatsev, Strahlman, Jason Woolley, young Nick Hjalmarsson. I again agree with Snipe's take on how to set this up. Goalies, Turk and Antti Niemi. So that way these younger guys can still end up bouncing around the league a little bit. Maybe not to who they would have actually gone to at the time, but you get the point. Oh, Florida. Nieuwendyk, Jokinen, Horton, Olesh, Stumpel, Bertuzzi, Pelton and Grattan, Jelena, Roberts, Weiss, Kolnick. Defense is Bomeister, Van Ryn, Allen and Steve Monador, Ruslan Saleh, and Baranoslav Meje. The goalie, Ed Balfour, with Alex Auld. Scratches, the only one, Gregory Campbell. Poor Soupy. The LA Kings with Camilleri, Kopitar, Frolov, a 19-year-old Anze Kopitar. Patrick O'Sullivan, Craig Conroy, Dustin Brown, Avery Armstrong, Kostopoulos. Again, great on Snipe to give Avery total eclipse. Great troll. Cowan, Thornton, Ivanins. The defense, Vishnowski, Blake, Nordstrom, Sopel, Dahlman, and Miller. And in goal, Dan Cloutier and Matthew Garon. Brian Wilsey is a scratch. I'm actually probably going to turn off injuries at this point due to the depth issues. Oh, Minnesota. Todd White, Pavel Dimitra, Marian Gaborik, Dupuis, Ralston Parrish, Bouchard, Koivu, and Branko Radivojevic, Bayou Walls, and Smith. Oh, goodness. Defense is Carney, Foster, Janssen, Burns, young Brent Burns, Skula, and Schultz. In goal, Backstrom and Manny Fernandez. No major scratches. Montreal, Higgins, Koivu, Kovalev, Latendress, Plekanec, Ryder, Samsonov, Bonk, Bejan, Paris Hogan, Garth Murray, and Mike Johnson. The defense is Surrey, Rive, Markov, Komisarek, Streit, and Dandino. And in goal, Cristobal Huet and David Abisher. Francois Bouillon as the scratch. For North America, again, same thing as the Europe side of things, but Bobby Ryan, Jonathan Taves. I mean, Taves would be on Chicago, but again, it's kind of the only way to do this. But Oshie's there. Neal, Giroux, Wheeler, Foligno, Helmut, Pozo, Marchand, Little, and Perron. The defense is Stahl and Johnson. Luc Bourdon was added in. Great touch with Matt Niskanen, Chris Russell, and a young Jeff Petrie. In goal, Jonathan Bernier, Steve Mason. Scratches of nobody important. New Jersey is Elias Gomez-Gianna, Parise Madden Langenbrunner, Pandolfo Zajac Rupp, Rasmussen, Breland, and Dowd. On defense, Paul Martin and Brian Rafalski, Oduya and White, Lukovic and Andy Green. And in goal, who else but Martin Brodeur, Scott Clemenson, and a scratched Cam Janssen. Poor Cam. Poor Cam. Check Kovalev. There are no stats to check. There are attributes, but how about you download the rosters? You gave me a shitload of bits earlier. Fine. In case you wanted to see what Kovalev looks like. Surprise, surprise! He's great! Who would have thought? Surprise, surprise. You got 5 more seconds, damn it. 5 more. Okay, now 5 more again. No, you're good. The Nashville Predators with Paul Kariya, Jason Arnott, and Steve Sullivan. Erat like Juan Dumont. Oh, Hartnell, Vasicek, Upshaw, Fiddler, Smithson, Tutu. Got some grit on that team. Tiemann and Weber, Ham, Hughes, Zidlichky, Suter, and Zanin. This Nashville team looks like so much fun. Vokun and Mason in goal. Radulov's a scratch. You'll love to see that. Dude, these are... God, this Nashville team would be so much fun. Oh, my God. It's too late to change. We're Atlanta. The Islanders are Blake Yash and Shatan, York, Sillinger, Kozlov, Park, Hilbert, Hunter, Simon, Bates, and Asham. Defense is Pody and Hill, Zhitnik, Gervais, Witt, and Chris Campoli. And in goal, Rick DiPietro and Mike Dunham. Yes, Rick DiPietro has an absurd contract. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. New York Rangers with Shanahan, Straka, Yager, Colin, Nylander, Pruka, Hossa, Betts, and Hall, Ward, Hallweg, and Colton Orr. In defense, Merrick Malik and Michael Roosevelt, Tootin, Rakunik, Pock, and Aaron Ward. Got adjusted because of the cap. Yeah, that's the issue, is trying to balance the cap properly. In goal, Henrik Lundqvist and Kevin Weeks. Scratched. Nobody overly important. No offense, Austin. And Ottawa. Again, this team made it to the Cup final that year. It is Heatley, Spezza, Alfredson, Schubert, Vermette, Eves, Fisher, Kelly, Neal, Schaefer, McCammon, McCarratton. Brian McGrattan. On defense, Redden and Corvo, Mazarosh and Pricing, Phillips and Volchenkov. And in goal, Razor Ray Emery, alongside Martin Gerber. Wolverine, I don't know his stats offhand to really say, but he was really good, at the very least. Philadelphia is Gagne, Forsberg, Kapanen, Sanderson, Richards, Knubel, Igor, Umberger, Carter, Calder, Robitaille, and Peter Nedved. Defense is Pickett and Darian Hatcher, Denny Gauthier, and Randy Jones. Ratchie and Picard. Goalie is Antero Nidimaki and Robert Ash. Nobody overly important scratched, at least for the sake of this series. The Phoenix Coyotes with Nagy, Comrie, and Doan, Saprik and Reinbeck, Schustrom, Roenick, Zigomanis, Nolan, Grattan, Perreault, and Georges Larac. The defense is Jovo, Kopp, and McCulloch, Ballard and Morris, Rush, and Nick Boynton, Bruins legend. In goal, Cujo and David Leneveux. Dave Scratcher. Good old Dave Scratcher. That's the name I haven't heard forever. Pittsburgh. Ouellet. Crosby and Recchi. Malone, Malkin, Armstrong, Christensen, Stahl, Talbot, Rutu, Moore, and Wah. On defense, it's Gonchar and Whitney, or Pickett, Scuderi, Melachar, and Nasreddin. In goal, Theo Fleury and Jocelyn Thibault. No important scratches. San Jose, Marlowe, Thornton, Chichu, one of the teams I was very tempted to use. Klo, Pavelski, Mahalik, Greer, Brown, Bernier, Reismiller, Gotch, and Bell. The defense is Carl and Ehrhoff, McLaren and Hannon, Vlasic, and Doug Murray. And in goal, Evgeny Nabokov and Vesa Toskala. Fantastic. St. Louis, you have Keith Tkachuk, Doug Weight, and Bill Guerin, Rushinsky, Hyanek, and I think it was Hyanek, and Stepniak, Mayers, McClement, Dvorak, Johnson, Backus, and Dallas Drake. The defense is Barrett Jackman, Dennis Weidman, Brewer and Walker, Salvador, and Backman. And in goal is Manny Legacy with Curtis Sanford. Tampa Bay. God, I was tempted to use Tampa as well. Prospel, LeCavalier, St. Louis, Fedotenko, Richards, Alexiev, Tarnasky, Carlson, Perrine, Craig, Taylor, and Afanasenkov. God, that top six. The defense is Kuba and Boyle, Ranger and Sarge, Pratt, and Doug Yannick. And in goal, Johan Holmqvist and Mark Denis. Should have kept the Boulin Wall. Toronto Maple Leafs, Ponikarovsky, Sundin O'Neill, Steen, Antropov, Tucker, Stajan, Wellwood, Pekka, Battaglia, Kilger, and John Pohl. On defense, Caberlet, Kubina, McCabe, White, Gill, and Wade Belak, R.I.P. And in goal, Andrew Raycroft and Mikhail Telkvist. No important scratches. The Vancouver Canucks, Daniel and Henrik Sedin alongside Marcus Naslin. It brings a tear to your eye. Kessler, Morrison, Linden. Pyatt, Schwinnard, Cook, Burrows, Bulish, and Green. The defense is Olin Mbieksa, Mitchell and Salo, Krashasek, and Rory Fitzpatrick. And in goal, Roberto Luongo and Danny Sabrin. Bruins goalies are Tim Thomas and Hannu Toivonen. And the last team, the Washington Capitals, with a 22-year-old Alex Ovechkin, with Boyd Gordon and Alex Semin, Clark, Zuber, Zednik, Pettinger, Beach, Bradley, Brashear, Like, and Sotheby. And in goal, or on defense, I should say, Morrison, Pothier, Schultz, Green, Eminger, and Jamie Heward. And in goal, Ole the goalie, next to Brent Johnson and Ben Clymer as a healthy scratch. So those are what the teams are looking like heading into this first season. As sweet as it is. Let's go turn off injuries. I also want to see if any kind of crazy trades happen, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, no crazy trades have happened yet. All well and good. So, that brings us to our first game of the year. How's that for a setup? Our first game of the year, it's against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's beautiful.